The hardest truth about your relationships is that your childhood may be the one choosing your partners for you. And if that sounds ridiculous because you might be thinking, how could something so long ago control my current love life? Stay with me. Have you ever noticed that somehow you keep ending up in the same relationship? A different face, different name, different circumstances, yet somehow the same problems. You tell yourself this time it'll be different, but eventually you find yourself feeling the same frustration, the same disappointment, the same emotional exhaustion. And that's when most people ask, why do I keep attracting the wrong people? But what if that's the wrong question? What if the real question is, why do I keep on choosing what's familiar? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Many of us aren't attracted to what's healthy. We are attracted to what feels like home, even when home wasn't healthy, which means sometimes the butterflies you're feeling aren't a sign that you found your person. They're a sign that you found a familiar wound. And in this video, I'm going to show you why attraction and compatibility are not the same thing, how childhood conditioning quietly influences who you're drawn to, and the practical steps you can take to finally break the cycle. If you're tired of repeating the same relationship with different people, hit subscribe because every week we're uncovering the root causes behind habits, beliefs, and patterns that keep us stuck. And today we're going to uproot one of the biggest ones. Most people think attraction is proof that someone is right for them, but attraction is not always wisdom. Sometimes it's recognition. Think about that. You can meet someone and feel an instant pull toward them. You feel the chemistry, you feel the excitement, you feel the intensity. You can't stop thinking about them. And we automatically assume, oh, this must mean they're special. Not necessarily. Sometimes what you're feeling is just familiarity. Your nervous system recognizes something, not because it's unhealthy, but because it's known. If you grew up constantly trying to earn approval, you may feel drawn to people whose love feels just out of reach. If you grew up walking on eggshells, chaos can strangely feel exciting. If affection was inconsistent, consistency might actually feel boring at first because your brain doesn't automatically seek what's healthy. It seeks what's familiar. It looks at patterns. So let's uproot this. The problem isn't that you're attracted to bad people. The problem is that you might be trained to mistake familiarity for compatibility. And those are not the same thing. Here's something most people never realize. Before you ever went on a date, your brain was already creating a blueprint for relationships. You learned what love looked like, how conflict worked, whether your needs mattered, whether affection was earned or freely given, whether you felt safe expressing emotions. And children don't analyze those lessons. They just absorb them. So years later, you may find yourself recreating the same emotional environment you grew up in without realizing it. Not because you want to suffer, because it's what your nervous system understands. A person who grew up needing to prove their worth may choose partners who constantly make them prove it. A person who grew up around emotional distance may feel uncomfortable when someone is emotionally available. A person who grew up rescuing others may repeatedly choose people who need saving. Not because they're stupid, not because they're weak, but because the pattern feels normal. I'll give you a personal story, and I was actually the problem. For many years, I kept finding myself in relationships that ended in arguments. And for the longest time, I thought the problem was the guys I was dating. I would leave a relationship and think, why can't I ever get along with the people that I date? But when I started becoming honest with myself, I noticed something. Whenever I felt unheard, I would start yelling. The yelling and arguments became a pattern for me. Somewhere along the way, I learned that if I wanted my feelings to matter, I had to just raise my voice. That if I wanted to be heard, I had to get louder. As if volume somehow made my point more important. So I kept repeating it. Different relationship, same reaction. And eventually I had to ask myself a hard question. What if the common denominator isn't them? That doesn't mean every relationship problem was always my fault, but it did mean I was bringing an unhealthy pattern into every relationship that I entered. Until I became aware of it, I was going to keep repeating it. So let's look into that. Sometimes a relationship pattern isn't just the people we choose. Sometimes it's the version of ourselves we're bringing into the relationship. And awareness is what gives us the power to change both. Attraction and compatibility are not the same thing. This is where we can get trapped. We think, but the chemistry was so strong. Chemistry can be real, but chemistry alone doesn't build healthy relationships. You can have incredible chemistry with someone who is completely wrong for you because attraction answers one question. Do I want this person? Compatibility answers a different question. Can we actually build a healthy life together? Those are not the same thing. Someone can make your heart race and still be emotionally unavailable. Someone can feel exciting and still be incapable of giving you the relationship you want. And sometimes the healthiest people don't create immediate fireworks. Sometimes they create peace. And if you're used to chaos, peace can feel initially boring. That's one of the biggest traps people fall into. They reject healthy because it doesn't feel familiar. What awareness gives you? The good news? Patterns are powerful, but they're not permanent. You cannot change a pattern you cannot see. But once you see it, you gain something incredibly valuable: choice. For the first time, you can pause. Instead of asking, am I attracted to them? You can ask, how do I feel after spending time with them? Do I feel secure? Do I feel respected? Do I feel emotionally safe? Do our values align? Do their actions match their words? Those questions reveal far more than chemistry ever will. The goal isn't to stop feeling attraction. The goal is to stop letting attraction make all your decisions. So what do you actually do if you keep on repeating the same relationship? Step 1, identify the pattern. Get specific. Not, I always date the same people. What exactly is in the pattern? Do they avoid commitment? Do you become their therapist? Do you ignore red flags? Do you constantly overgive? Do you shut down? Do you become controlling? The clearer the pattern, the easier it is to break. Step 2, ask what feels familiar. When you identify the pattern, ask yourself, where have I felt this before? Not necessarily who, just the feeling. The goal isn't to blame your parents. The goal is the understanding, because understanding gives you power. Step 3, create new relationship standards, not preferences, standards. Things that are non-negotiable: honesty, consistency, respect, emotional maturity, shared values. Write them down. Most people have a detailed list of what they're attracted to, but no clear standards of what they actually need. Step 4, slow down. Patterns thrive when relationships move quickly. Awareness requires space. You don't need to decide if someone is your forever person after 3 great conversations. Give yourself time to observe. Watch their actions. Watch how they handle conflict. Watch how they treat other people. Time exposes what chemistry hides. The truth is, you don't keep falling for the same people because you're broken. You keep falling for the same people because you're following a blueprint you didn't even realize was there. But what is learned can be unlearned, and awareness creates choice. The moment you can see the pattern, you're no longer trapped by it. You're finally in a position to change it, and that may be the beginning of every healthy relationship you'll have from this point forward. If this video helped you identify a relationship pattern you've been repeating, let me know in the comments, please. You've got this, and I hope this gives you a new perspective so you can go out there and find your person and create a healthy relationship together now that you're aware. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.